Well, Steve Mignani here. This is the checkout of my new 1962 Dodge Dart police car. I bought this car at the Great Texas Mopar Horde auction event. In fact, I bought this before the auction. The auction happened on October 13th. I bought this thing in July because I fell in love with it. I gave him $5,000 for it. They says, yeah, we'll take that money. And here it is. It came to my house here in Massachusetts from Texas. I paid $1,500 for shipping. Not too bad. I'm happy with it. Okay, we checked out so far the overall and the engine. It's a 318 two-barrel, a poly. Inside, what have we got? Okay, all right, it's good. Push-button torque flight. Good to see that. These were available with a 3-speed manual, which would have been column shifted, and that would have been something behind the Slant 6 or the 318 or even the 361 could have had the 3-speed on the tree. This has the torque flight, which is fine with me. I love this. The speedometer, it's a 120 speedo, but here we see the word certified. It's not like certified lunatic, but certified means that the speedometer is actually certified. So if the officer is in court saying, I saw that go, I watched that car go 84 miles per hour, it's somewhat admissible in court, the certified speedo. And it's also another signal. This is an actual police car. And going beyond that, I always say that knowledge is power when it comes to vehicles, and fill your library before you fill your garage every time. So this is the Cars and Parts catalog of American cars, 60 through 69. We go to the Dodge section to find out what the VIN can tell us on this car. On this, we were looking at 1962 model year. So here we want to look and see, this is the codes, right? So on this car, what we have is a 5 in the first spot, which means it's a 4-door, it's a V8 Dart. It also would apply to a Polara. The second spot is the series, okay? Now that's very important. On this car, we have the number 9 right there, and we can see that 9 is special. Now, fleet is a 10, special is 9, taxi is an 8, and unless normal, just regular cars or other numbers, the 9 means special, in other words, police. And here it is right here, the 9 in the second spot. Maybe zoom in on that. The arrow points out that 9, and that's the thing right there. If this was just a regular 6-cylinder grandma mobile, I wouldn't be so interested. I certainly wouldn't ship it across country. But as a police car, it has a variety of heavy-duty features. First up is the front seat. Let's take a peek. I've not looked inside of this thing before, so let's pull this out of here. Wow! Oh yeah! Woo! And this is mouse poop right there from the Texas desert to us here. But more importantly, this seat, this is the original heavy-duty fleet spec vinyl seat. Now, it's conceivable this might have been recovered, but I don't see that this is not a covering over the previous. So this might be the fleet upholstery. It's also seen on the back. But more importantly, this does have, it's a bench seat, of course, but the wire and the springs inside of this seat, maybe take a peek here. This seat, if we could x-ray it, it has extra coils. This is heavy duty for use in a police car or a taxi. You got to remember, a police officer spends a lot of time on this seat, and a standard production bench would have probably sagged and worn out way before this heavy-duty police would. This piece would. And the steering is correct. There it is, the full ring. Radio delete. We look inside here, and that thing right there below the heater or the speaker vent, that is a radio delete plate. And that, of course, is seen on super stockers, cheapo Slant 6 cars, and yes, police cars, because the officers would have had their own radio, a Motorola or something like that. They would not need to listen to Buddy Holly on their AM radio. Buddy Holly, of course, a Texas guy, which is also what this car is. This car is from Texas, and again, it's very rust-free. Let's take a look in the back and see. Oh, that's a sweet sound. I want to make an alarm clock with that sound right there. I like it. Okay, in the back, more of the same. Here's that same non-pattern heavy-duty rear bench. The perps would have gone back here. Now this car might have been a detective's car or who knows what. There's no cage in this one, which is often seen on certain police cars, but not always seen. In the back, these are hubcaps. These are the fleet wheel covers that would go on a police car. Now these hubcaps here, during the Great Texas Mopar Horde auction event, on Wednesday, October 13th, they had the vehicle sale, and on Thursday, October 14th, they had an auction of thousands of pieces and parts. In that auction, I bought these hubcaps, thinking to myself, you know, you need these things. So I have 8 of these things. Some are banged up, but in all 8, I have enough to make a set of 4 to put this car back to its original fleet car look. And speaking of those wheel covers, here are the wheels. This is a 15 by 6-inch wheel. It's a fleet wheel. See these tangs right here? These are different from regular Mopar steel wheels, which actually have the nub formed into the inner spider. These, take these hubcaps, they pop on like that, and the idea, these grip the hubcap better than the regular nubs do, so that if the car goes over a curb, you don't lose a hubcap. Of course, full wheel covers were a no-no on police cars because those things fly off. If you ever see the movie Bullet, where Steve McQueen is going through San Francisco, loses, I think, 6 hubcaps off the car. They come and they go. The movie, the editing's kind of goofy, but that kind of a full wheel cover is not seen on police cars. These, again, are the fleet wheel covers, the hub covers, the hubcaps, that would be seen again on a police model or a taxi. So here they are, and this is the original wheel. There's 4 of these on this thing, which is awesome. They're staying. You know, it's cool. The quarter panels on this thing are sweet. There's no rust. Some would say, oh, look at that rust right there. That's just the paint is gone. So that's just good, solid stuff. In a couple of moments, we're going to continue with a look at the floors and see if we're really that lucky or not. Keep in mind, these police cars didn't come with carpeting inside. That was extra cost. These generally came with a rubber floor mat. And as we all know, rubber does not breathe. So as a result of that, we might find ourselves with rotten floors, despite the fact the body is nice. Coming up in a moment, we'll explore the floors and hope that our luck continues. But in the meantime, if you like this video, stay tuned and subscribe to the Steve Maggs YouTube channel for a lot more where this came from.